Hi everyone, it's Eric from ecommon12.blogspot.com and welcome to my in-depth comparison of the Nexus 6 versus the Nexus 7. Today we're going to be looking at the screen quality of both of these devices and see which one is superior and what are their pros and cons. So we're both on their home screens right now, and just so you know, the Nexus 6 has an AMOLED panel and the Nexus 9 has got an IPS display, and both of them have different PPIs. The Nexus 6 has a far superior 493 pixels per inch density, and the Nexus 9 has a 281 pixels per inch density. So what we're going to do right now is just take a look at some of the text. We'll start off with that. Now let's look at the Nexus 6. Now you can see the text on this is absolutely crisp. I can bring it up so close to the camera to the point where the camera is still focusing. I didn't know my camera could do that, but I can bring it up so close to the camera. I'm literally touching the lens right now, and there are no pixels on this display. It is just absolutely crisp and looks really, really nice, especially in the daylight as well. The Nexus 9, on the other hand, even though it's very, very nice and crisp, you can just tell that the clarity is not the same when compared to the Nexus 6. Although, it still looks very good in its own right, especially as tablets you move them more further away from you as opposed to smartphones when they're closer to you. So the pixel per inch, the contrast on both in terms of detail is both very, very good. Now what we're going to look at is some images. Okay, now here is some animation running, and due to copyright reasons I've actually had to turn the sound off, but this is a perfect comparison as they both have really nice colours going on. Just look at this. This is where a lot of colours are going to start going on right now. And again, it's one of those things, I'm not sure if you can notice on camera, but to the human eye, when you're looking at it personally, it looks so much more colourful, again, on this AMOLED display. In comparison, animation looks breathtaking on this AMOLED display, but on here, it just looks good. It doesn't really blow you away, but if you just look at these, the colours are far superior on the AMOLED screen. Now yes, you could argue that they're too saturated, but on the Nexus 6, one of the criticisms is that it's not as saturated as other AMOLED displays, so therefore, it's not as oversaturated as those displays, and it just looks so, so beautiful when you're looking at animation. Now here you're seeing a lot of purple/pink colours going on, a mixture of those two. Here you're going to see some different colours going on, so let's take a look at these. Again, the animation just looks so much more vivid, so much more rich on this display. So that was the screen comparison in terms of video that you're going to be doing. Now let's look at something more, let's look at live action as opposed to animation. So I'm going to go to a live action clip and show you that. Okay, we've got some new footage going on here, and as you can see, this is live action. And I'll just let you take a look at it yourself for a bit, then I'll let you know my opinions. Now, from what I can tell, again, it looks superior on the AMOLED display. Now, one thing you'll notice though, if you're watching this, is that the colours do look a bit more natural here, whereas here they've got a bit of a yellowish tint. Again, that's something that happens with the AMOLED displays. But on the plus side, when you saw this logo over here, from the Angry Video Game Nerd, who I've drawn a lot of inspiration from, let's just go back on this one as well. As you can see, on the Nexus, ignore the ads, but on the Nexus 6, the black stuff that you're seeing over here, the black background seems like it's non-existent, like as if the screen is off. Whereas on the Nexus 9, it's grey, which lets you sort of know that you're watching it on a screen, and it sort of seems a bit like the quality is not fully there. Whereas with this, it's like the colours stand out. Since it's all black in the background, whatever you see on the screen, it all stands out and looks very, very rich. As you can see, just look at that. That gives you a really amazing feeling once you do see colours fill the screen. And you also can't notice the widescreen bars on the top and bottom on an AMOLED display, so it makes the viewing experience nicer in that way. On here, it's still definitely a good experience, but, and you have to excuse the fingerprints, but the colours are just not, in real life, as pleasing as on the Nexus 6, but they still look very impressive, as you can see. And live action is where I think the Nexus 9 kind of wins out. Reason why is because the display, as you can just see, the colours look so much more natural on the skin tones, on everything they're doing, the controller you saw right there when you're sitting down. All of this looks so much more natural. It looks more like a proper sort of thing, the way you'd see people in real life. The colours look more accurate, whereas on here, they look a bit too good, and as you can see in comparison, there's a bit of a yellowish tint going on right here. So, that's my only kind of little quarrel, I think, with this, but to tell you the truth, it's not a deal breaker whatsoever in the slightest, but the colours do look better with this on the Nexus 9. They have a bit of an edge, but it all comes down to personal preference. Do you prefer the extra vibrance on the screen, or do you prefer more natural colours? Only you can decide that, but everyone is certainly going to have their own preference. So, thank you very much for watching this more in-depth screen performance test. Definitely stay tuned for my future videos where I'm going to be giving you a gaming performance test on both these devices, more in-depth, and also where I'm going to be doing a more in-depth comparison of the speakers. So, thanks very much for watching this video. Definitely stay tuned for those future comparison videos and individual coverage videos of these devices. Please follow me on my social networks. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Google+. Thanks again guys for watching, and I'll see all of you next time. Take care.